Welcome to Survey Building 101. In this tutorial, I'll be walking you through all of the different question settings in Phonic. Let's get started. Once questions have been added to your survey, you can adjust the question settings by mousing over the question of interest and clicking on the Settings button. The Question Settings menu will appear to the right. The options available in question settings often differ between question types, but there are some commonalities across all questions. All question types can be marked optional, assigned a data label, which will appear in the survey CSV output, and assigned a minimum time requirement. When a minimum time requirement is assigned, participants will need to wait before the next button becomes available. Additionally, all questions can be randomized in groups, but this is a topic to be covered in our Survey Logic 101 series. Question JavaScript can also be added, however, this feature is currently in beta and only available for enterprise users. You can modify the behavior of the audio microphone in question settings. By default, audio transcription is enabled and set to English. You can change the transcription language by selecting the drop-down menu, and here you will see the list of languages that Phonic supports for transcription. Audio playback is also enabled by default, which allows participants to play back their audio response. You can disable transcription and hide the playback button by unchecking the respective boxes. You can also enable settings such as adding text backup so participants can choose between audio and text, setting the recording to start immediately, and finally setting a maximum time duration for audio responses, which will stop the recording after the time indicated. Audio responses can also be combined with selection, open text, slider, and ranking responses. For these combination questions, settings for both components can be applied. For example, audio and selection question settings for the audio and selection combo. These settings will be discussed later in this video. Video responses use a subset of audio settings. By default, transcription is set to English, but as with audio questions, you can use the menu dropdown to select one of our supported languages. You can also add text backup to allow participants to choose between video and text and add a response maximum, which will stop the recording at the time indicated. You can set a character minimum or maximum for open text responses and audio questions with backup text enabled. When a minimum character limit is specified, the progress bar above the text response will turn green once the limit has been reached. For maximum limits, the progress bar will remain green unless the limit is exceeded, in which case the progress bar will turn red. Selection question types can be turned into a multiple selection question by checking off multiple selections. Selection options can also be randomized for selection, drop-down, and ranking question types. You can also anchor options to specific positions. For example, anchoring none of the above to always appear last. Likert questions can be customized by enabling custom Likert labels. From here, you can add additional labels and specify the text that you want to appear. The text that you want to appear can be in the form of numbers, letters, characters, and you can even add emojis to your scale. The anchors and intervals on a slider question type can also be customized under bounds. The lower bound is the numerical value that will appear on the left, and the upper bound is the numerical value that will appear on the right. You can also customize the lower and upper bound labels with text and even emojis. These labels will appear on the left and right ends of the slider accordingly. Finally, the interval between values can be adjusted. If we set the interval to 2, then participants will make their ratings at increments of 2. And those are all of the question settings in Phonic. Join me next time where I'll be discussing survey settings, including how to avoid duplicate responses and how to allow your participants to leave your survey and come back to it later.